54 years later, a lot of emotion and still so much more work to do in the fight for justice.
They'd taken our top leader. He was supposed to speak that night, and she ran out of the house, and I said, Miss Thomas, what's wrong? She said, they just shot Martin.
Today, we remember and honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was shot and killed on this day in 1968, standing on the second floor balcony of the Lorraine Motel. Hundreds of people gathered there today to commemorate this moment, including the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Fox 13's Kayla Solomon talked to the Reverend. She's live now. Kayla, tell us what he told you. And I noticed behind you the entire Lorraine Motel bathed in purple, a symbol of royalty.
That's right, Daryl. Reverend Jackson was one of the last people to see Dr. King alive. It was right here outside of room 306 where it all happened on this day 54 years ago. That's where the wreath lays now. We all remember the pictures of Dr. King right after he was shot. But again, it was Reverend Jackson that was also up there that day. Now, he did come back today to mark the 54th anniversary, still very much so emotional about it all. He talked about how much the city of Memphis has changed over the last 5 decades, but how much more still needs to be done. During his trip to Memphis on Monday, Reverend Jesse Jackson lowered the wreath on the very balcony where his friend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed 54 years ago. It was a moment that brought emotion to the 80-year-old activist.
Pain and joy. Pain of what happened that night.
He also had a chance to visit the new Collins Chapel Connectional Hospital, a home for homeless people across the city. This was a place he helped fundraise and rally for, and it's the first time he saw the hospital since it reopened.
We needed this place then, we need it now.
He says it's just one example of how different Memphis is now from 50 years ago.
I love the new Memphis, right? The new South.
But he says there are still changes that need to be made across the country and the world, including eliminating violence in all forms in all communities.
Too much violence in America, too much violence. Police shooting people, shooting police, children getting shot, killed in school. Let's teach that violence in school, teach it in school. It's conflict resolution.
Now, if you come take a look over here, some people did actually lay flowers out here, of course, to commemorate the 54th anniversary today. One of the other stops that Reverend Jackson made during his visit was also at the Mount Olive Cathedral Church. Live from downtown Memphis, Kayla Solomon, Fox 13 News.
All right, Kayla, thank you. Tonight we're taking a look back to that fateful day when Dr. King was assassinated. As a matter of fact, we have photos that, well, they tell the whole story. This is the most iconic photo of Dr. King laying on his own blood there while Jesse Jackson and others on the balcony pointed across the street to the fire station just moments before the shot was fired. Joking on that same balcony, the men and women were running late to a dinner at the home of Memphis pastor, the Reverend Samuel Billy Kiles. Reverend Jackson, in the minutes leading up to the fateful 6 o'clock hour, April 4th, was rehearsing freedom songs used to inspire marchers who faced certain brutality. That march would happen 4 days later on April 8th, where Coretta Scott King led the way. The very next day, April 9th, 1968, she would bury her husband. And tonight we want to honor the life and legacy of Dr. King.